Today we're talking directly to teens about money, freedom, and decisions that shape your future. This isn't about getting rich quick. This isn't about having a flashy lifestyle. This is about understanding how money actually works so it doesn't control you later.
A lot of teens graduate high school knowing how to pass tests, but not how to manage money. So today we're answering the questions we wish more adults had explained early. What money advice would you give me after I graduate high school?
This might be the most financially important period of your life. When you graduate high school, everything changes. You have new freedom, new responsibilities, new expenses as well. And the decisions you make now could affect your life for decades. So the first thing I'll tell you is invest in yourself first. And before you start thinking about investing in stocks, crypto or businesses, start thinking about, hey, how am I going to improve or better myself long term? So that means things like gaining a skill that's marketable, something that someone's willing to pay you for. So you really have two strong paths you could take to head in that direction. You could choose to go to college for a degree that is marketable, something that's going to make you money. Or you can choose to go to trade school for a trade that's marketable, something that's going to make you a good amount of money.
Neither one is better than the other. What matters is if the skill solves real problems, is in demand, and pays enough to support your life.
And the big thing you have to be tracking with that skill that you're learning or going to college is understanding the return on investment. Every education decision is an investment. Whether you like it or not, or whether people admit it or not, it's an investment. It's going to cost you a good amount of money nowadays. So you have to ask, first thing is, how much will it cost? How long will it take? What should I realistically expect to earn afterwards? And how long will it take me to pay off that degree or that trade that I've learned? If it doesn't clearly improve your earning potential, it's not an investment, it's a liability.
You don't need to love your first job. You need your first job to fund your future.
And the big thing is, don't confuse passion with provision. A lot of people say, hey, follow your dreams, follow your passion. Hey, but whatever thing you follow and whatever thing you do is going to have to ultimately provide you with provision. It's going to have to ultimately be able to pay your bills. Passion, that's something you can grow later. And many people struggle financially because they're chasing their passion or chasing their dream without understanding the math behind their dream. To really have, I would say, a dream life, there's a few pillars it has to be built on. It has to be built on having income, discipline, and having skills that could create additional income. So pursue those things first, right? And have that foundation, and then by all means, start pursuing your passion and find ways to monetize your passion at that point.
Early adulthood is when people make their most expensive mistakes. Student loans without a plan, cars they can't afford, credit cards they don't understand, and lifestyle upgrades before their income upgrades.
Your goal early on in life really should be flexibility, not luxury. And your greatest asset isn't your money, it's your earning ability. Choose a path that pays you, provides you with options, gives you flexibility, and that is able to buy you freedom later in life. Invest wisely now. Your future self will thank you.
What do I do with my money once I get a job? Once you start earning money, every dollar has 4 options. You can either choose to save, invest, spend, or give. The key is doing all 4 intentionally.
And as Christians, the first thing we do with our money is we give 10% to our local church. If we don't have a local church, we give 10% to the ministry that is currently feeding us spiritually.
Giving isn't about how much you make. It's about who you trust.
And saving isn't optional. It's protection. So as you're taking the next step, after giving, the next thing that should be saving. And your goal should be to save approximately $2,000 initially to have a starter emergency fund. But this starter emergency fund is extremely important. And why, you may ask, is because your car is going to eventually need repairs. Your phone may need to be replaced. And cell phones nowadays, they're extremely more expensive than they used to be. So it's almost $2,000 for a cell phone. And you may have unexpected bills, or you may have a job transition. So without saving, every surprise really becomes a crisis. And that's how debt starts.
Once you hit 2,000, don't stop. Start investing. You don't need a lot, you just need consistency. Set up automatic monthly investing.
Investing early gives you something that money can't buy, and that's time, right? So the big thing with your money is you want that time invested so it can compound, and compounding is powerful. That's how you can make buku amounts of dollars. Example is Warren Buffett. Yes, he's a billionaire, obtained his first billion at age 56, but now at age 95, he's worth well over $100 billion. And a lot of that money came, so 99% of his wealth came through the compound interest over time. And the last thing you do with money that we were talking about is you spend. And sometimes spending is given bad connotation, but spending isn't bad. But spending without a plan is bad. So you need to understand that every dollar you have, it has an assignment, and it needs to go where it's assigned. And if you don't tell your money where to go, you're going to end up wondering, hey, where that money went.
The bottom line is, money behaves best when it's directed. Give intentionally, save aggressively, and invest consistently. Spend wisely. That order builds freedom, not stress. So what is credit?
So credit is another aspect of money that a lot of folks talk about, and really the gist of it is credit is borrowed money. And when you use credit, you're really borrowing someone else's money and you're telling them that you're going to pay them back in a certain period of time, and the majority of the time you're paying back with interest. And examples of credit cards, car loans, student loans, those are all forms of credit.
Your credit score tells lenders how risky it is to lend to you. It's based on your payment history, amounts owed, length of credit history, and new credit mix. Late payments and maxed out cards hurt fast.
And the system really keeps you in debt. I mean, it's designed to keep you in debt. I mean, for example, if you have a credit card from a store and you make a purchase, you buy a pair of shoes, it's $150. If you make the minimum payments, you're going to end up paying several $100s for that $150 pair of shoes. And the other thing is, typically, credit comes with high interest depending on how good of a credit score you have. And even arguably, if you have a great credit score, chances are you're going to be paying 10, 12% interest, which is still, from my perspective, high. And also, another thing that really keeps people trapped is easy approvals. Almost anyone can get a credit card. Even if you're really, really low on credit scale, you can still like to get a credit card. And then the fact that they tell you, hey, you get reward points. However, I've never heard of anyone becoming a millionaire because of their credit card reward points, or even a billionaire for that matter. And then lifestyle pressures. You have so many things that are marketing to you nowadays that, hey, you need to have this pair of shoes, these pair of clothes, this designer item, to somehow fit in. And right, that's not that important. So the system rewards spending, not wisdom. And if you look at your credit score, it rewards you having a long payment history, having a good amount of money borrowed that you paid back over time, and a good mix of money borrowed that you pay back over time. So it really rewards the fact that people are in debt, and it's sort of sad.
Credit should be a tool, not a lifestyle. Only buy what you can pay off. Never carry balances just to build credit. Always know the real cost. As in the example my dad mentioned, you don't need to pay hundreds of dollars for something that costs $100.
And credit could help you, right? Credit sometimes is very valuable. It allows you to pay for things over time. For example, most people can't go out and buy a house cash. So a mortgage allows you to pay for your home over time. However, it could also, these credit vehicles, it could also be a trap. It could trap you. So the difference isn't really income, it's really also understanding and being disciplined when using credit.
How do I make a lot of money?
So there's really no shortcuts. I mean, high income comes from high value. So if you want to make a lot of money, it's very important to become the top of the top in your field. It's important to be exceptional, like like athletes, like doctors, lawyers. A lot of them who end up making a lot of money, they're in the top percent of the 1% of their field.
Professional athletes don't get paid because they show up. They get paid because they're the best of the best. The same applies to engineering, tech, sales, medicine, trades, and business. Money flows to rare skills.
And when you're rare, opportunities chase you. And when you're common, you have to chase opportunities. Skills and mastery are necessary to create economic leverage and to be able to demand high amounts of pay or a high income.
Earning money is step 1. Keeping and multiplying it is step 2. And step 3 is using the money to buy cash flowing assets. Such assets puts money into your pocket consistently without trading time.
And the more cash flowing assets you own, the more freedom, the more options, the more control ultimately the more control you'll have over your time. And controlling your time, I would say, that's real wealth.
What are examples of cash flowing assets? A cash flowing asset pays you regularly, not just maybe or someday. Good examples of this are books, which you write once and earn repeatedly, digital products, such as courses, templates, media, rental real estate, and you can get monthly income from that if the numbers work, dividend stocks, you get paid for owning, and businesses, like profitable systems that don't require constant time.
And wealth isn't about owning stuff, it's about owning assets that produce cash flow. And that cash flow is income. The more income producing assets you build, the less dependent you are on a paycheck.
And the less dependent you are on a paycheck, the freer you become.
If this helped you, please like it, please share it with a friend, and subscribe to the channel for additional content.
And remember, financial freedom starts with understanding.
Thanks for watching. God bless.